We're here with Mississippi College head coach John Bland as we look forward to this game this weekend against the West Florida Argonauts. But Coach, let's look backwards first of all. A couple of weeks ago with that 34-9 victory over Southwest Baptist. I want to go through a sequence in the last part of that second quarter, early part of the third quarter, which I thought was really key in the game. An interception by the Choctaws sets up a touchdown. Next drive for Southwest Baptist, fumble recovery sets up a touchdown. And then early in the third, touchdown field goal. About 10 minutes there, the defense really did a good job at making things happen, setting up the offense to succeed.
Sure did. That's what that total team effort is all about, but it was just exciting to see. We were having I felt like we were in control of the game, but it was still tight. I felt like we were the better team, and our team was playing that way, but right there at the end of the half was just a big momentum swing, and it happened with a turnover by Trey Thompson. He just went up there and took that screen pass away, had recognized it, played great defense, and then took the ball, and we were able to capitalize on that with that touchdown. I want to say Jamari Mark took it in on that one. And then as soon as we kicked off, I said they're going to run one more play, and we just ripped that out. Justin Stewart ripped the ball away, took the ball, and we had one play. And, with the time that was elapsing, I thought we might be able to run one and then kick a field goal if we needed to. But there was not enough, so we just kicked the field goal, and Drake came through for us, got those 3 points. That was 10 points, though, that changed the score from 7-3 to 17-3, which makes a big, big difference in momentum and also how they feel going into halftime as well.
And you mentioned your kicker, Drake McCarter. The distance we've seen has certainly been there. He's only missed one field goal this year. And he, along with the special teams, I thought did a really good job in covering some punts, some deep punts, and pinning Southwest Baptist deep a couple of times in the game.
No doubt. And, you can look up statistics all you want. That change in the field position is going to be big. Of course, the longer a team has to go and drive, the more difficult it is. And Drake has done a great job. Our Coach Weiser, our special teams coordinator, has done a super job of giving us a good plan. It's not just the snapper and the punter, but it's a big, big part of it right there. You want good operation time, you want to have good snaps, you want to have good punts, and then the coverage has got to be there, which is big. We have right now, last I looked, I want to say it was a 48-yard punting average, 48. That is half the field. And our net punt is 48.5, if I saw that right, which means the one or few times that they have returned it, they've gone backwards. And so it's really, really good. If you can punt it low and you give them a big return, that's not as good. But Drake's getting a hang time. He's getting the ball down there deep in their territory and making a big, big difference in our success.
You talked about how this is really a team effort for the first 2 wins of the season. 12 different Choctaws handled the football in that victory over Southwest Baptist, and some of that was in the fourth quarter, and some guys who don't maybe play a lot got some playing time, but that's good to have early in the season.
It is, it sure is. I fill out a participation chart each week, and I want to say that second game we had 66 players, almost 70 players play in the game, whether it was offense, defense, or special teams, which is an awful lot. The maximum we can play on the road in the Gulf South is 60, the maximum amount we can take with us. So at home we can dress out more guys. That's big, and if we're successful, we do the right things, and we can get a lot of people in. And that does help a lot of things. Injuries, it helps team morale, a lot of things. So we want them to be ready to compete, and they were.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say is you never know when the injury bug is going to hit. And so if you know in game action, which is different from practice, what guys can do, it really helps you make those decisions as a coaching staff.
No doubt about it. And so the more you can get in, the more the coach is able to, trust, look, and your teammates say, look, we know if you get in the ball game, things are going to continue to click in the right way. And it's hard to judge that in practice alone. So when they get in the ball game, they got to make it count, and they have so far.
Well, talking about making it count, Dietrich Hawthorne, Aaron Fiesel, together they've thrown only 18 passes that have been completed this year, but the yardage per pass completion is also 18. Now, a lot of that's yards after the catch, but I think it kind of speaks to, the passing game is something that opponents cannot go to sleep on with this Choctaw team.
No doubt. The running game sets a lot of that up, and I know that with all those guys touching the ball, whether it's the fullback, the quarterback, or our slots when we get the ball. But those yards that are being gained forces people to come and bring extra defenders down, and usually that's coming from the secondary. And Coach Laurendine has done a super job with that as far as setting up a good plan for us to create mismatches where defenders have to come from the secondary. That allows one-on-one matchups, sometimes zero-on-one matchups. We saw that Drew Kroger was out there and nobody was covering him until he got right to the goal line. So that's the way you get those big plays. And you look across the country and you see some of those teams that run the option and do that. They are a big play offense. It's not just the ones who are in the gun and throwing the football. This is one of the most big play offenses that you'll see, and you'll see that by yards per gain in the running game and the passing game.
Well, the Choctaws are now 2-0 on the season. Did not get to play the game last week at North Greenville. I know, disappointed from a football standpoint, a competition standpoint. You wanted to play. The players wanted to play, but in the big picture, it was probably safe for everybody just to stay away from that area. But what was the plan and what was the activity for the Choctaws during the off weeks
Right.
of those days you had?
As we started the week, obviously we were preparing to play. And of course we can't control the weather, we couldn't control the hurricane that was coming. And as we got closer and closer, obviously there were concerns. When you're taking 2 buses full of young men into what seems to be a dangerous atmosphere, and obviously it was because of South Carolina and North Carolina and what they have gone through and what they were expecting from the hurricane. So it was definitely it was the best decision is not to go. The thing that we would do is prepare as a football team was this, though. We have momentum right now with 2 wins. Hey, it's time to go play again, and being selfish and wanting to go do that was probably on my mind, but thinking more on the safe side, our team was better staying here. So now not only mine, but our team has to shift gears a little bit. How do we prepare for the next opponent? And so we did. We started to prepare for West Florida right there toward the end of the week, just a little bit, but we did give them off Saturday and Sunday, which is good. We don't have an off week this year, so it became our off week. It wasn't planned to start, but it ended up being that, so we just utilized it to get healthy and heal some of those bruises, but also rest our legs a little bit.
Well, I guess if you had to have an off week to prepare for any team on the schedule, it might be this one that went to the national championship game last year. They're 2-1 of the season. They beat a good team in Carson Newman by 10, lost to Midwestern State, but they gave up some late touchdowns in that ball game and then defeated Shorter last week. We've already seen they've got some depth at quarterback, and they've got some skilled players on that team.
They do. They're really good. Now, obviously, they've been really good all along. When they started football a few years ago, and they practiced for 2 years. They didn't do anything. They didn't play anybody. Kind of kept it a secret there for a while, and then they jumped right into the Gulf South Conference play, and they've been really good ever since, and they've done a super job. So we're expecting them to be at their best. Obviously, this is Gulf South Conference play. They obviously played Shorter last week, which is was not on the top of their game either. I think some of their players were injured before they played, but they're a good football team. They proved that last year, and because of that, they have been ranked with the national polls. And so we're excited to have them come into our place, and hopefully we'll play at our best.
And the way it sets up now is the Choctaws have 4 games at home to start the season because of the off week last week. I know the home environment's been really important to the MC success this year.
It has. It's been a really big benefit to us. You talk about home field advantage when you look at our stands and the support and how they start the game off and how they finish. Man, it's not like at halftime they disappear. When we come back out after halftime, we definitely have a home field advantage. We want to continue to have that and continue to grow that as well. So I think a lot of that has to do with us continuing to win, though. If we continue to win, I think the more support we'll have. So the pressure's on us and them. We're a team all together, fans and players. So we're excited to have that MC support.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Good luck in the game this weekend.
Thank you, Reed.